He's been in Dubai for a long time. Dubai is his residence. In 2019, when he came back after, when he came back to run, he was between 2015 and 2000, he was in Dubai. After he lost, he went back to Dubai. Nobody heard from him again. He only comes to run, and then he goes back. After he loses this election, which he clearly is going to lose, right? He's going to, I don't know, lose to Tinubu. I mean, that's what is looking like. Well, Peter will be by faith, Tinubu by reality, I guess. He's going to go back to Dubai.
People going home today, come back tomorrow, go back home the next day. That's why in the US, when you are in the polling stations, you don't leave the polling stations. Like everything you drop there, you don't take anything home. But there's no supervision. Nobody knows what you're doing. Like it's bizarre. And it's something that the world is watching. The whole world is watching. There are a lot of international observers. So people just need to kind of calm down. Let the process take its toll.
Yeah. Things are going to change. I strongly believe that. I'm just hoping that this momentum, because Lagos, Sanwo-Olu, the APC structure. Not even APC structure, Tinubu structure needs to be collapsed in Lagos. Lagos is the commercial center of Nigeria. That state is nobody should own that Lagos. Lagos should be a toss-up. It should be a toss-up. Well, the youths of Nigeria have actually proven to the world that they can actually effect a change, not by violence, but by the ballot. At least with what we saw in Lagos State. With all the malpractice and everything, So looking to the future, I think no matter what the outcome of the election is, we should not lose hope. Peter Obi has started something that is even going to might grow bigger than him. Whatever happens, tribunal or no tribunal, whoever it is that wins this election is going to understand that they have to perform. Otherwise, they are going to face a very stiff fight to retain office. Let's not be discouraged by however the outcome of this election is. Let's continue to organize, and eventually we know delay does not mean denial. It's not denial. Eventually, we are going to, in our lifetime, we are going to see a Nigeria that. We are going to hand over a Nigeria that we'll be proud of to our children.
Bata bata, bata bata, bata box.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Bata Box podcast. I'm your host, Brother Mike. I'm here today with Brother Johnson, who's calling in from the States. And we've been monitoring the election and the situation going on in Nigeria. It's a little bit concerning, and we just wanted to kind of, on behalf of citizens abroad, Nigerians abroad, wanted to kind of air our opinions. And a lot of what we're talking about are explicitly opinions, and please do not take us serious. We're just a bunch of dudes on the internet sharing their opinions. We unfortunately cannot vote because we're not in the country. And I'm not sure if that's better than so many countries who can't vote anyway, because we've heard there's a lot of issues and irregularities with the issuance of the PVC cards anyway. But anyway, without further ado, Brad Johnson, how are you doing today? What's going on?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm fine. I'm very, very well. Thank you. I'm great. Until the news started coming out from Nigeria, I'm like, hold on, what's going on? We're recording this about 3 days after the election. So the election was 3 days ago. So a lot of what we're recording are from 3 days ago. So just to give you some context, I'm not sure when you'll be listening to this, but whenever you are, a lot of things will have changed. But hopefully we can shed some light as to the entire electoral process and what we've observed from outside the country. I personally have spoken to a lot of Nigerians in diaspora, and I'm sure Brad Johnson also has some intel, for lack of a better term, on what people from outside are seeing. So that's kind of the gist. A bit disappointed. I'm good until I think I started out by listening to Obasanjo. Obasanjo came out and gave a press release statement, and it was just kind of, this is the elder statesman that a lot of people respect. Some respect him, some don't, I would say. But so I was like, when I saw, I was like, why is Obasanjo coming out? What is he trying to say? What's going on? So, but then I think it was on Channels TV, and it was saying, don't set Nigeria on fire. You know, the electoral process should be honored, and those that voted, but there were some irregularities from the 25th of February 2023 election, that it should get a chance to set things straight, because the legacy of free, fair, transparent, and credible elections should not be put in doubt. So that's kind of where things started unraveling for me, because I wasn't really paying attention, honestly. I just thought it'd be a simple, like the one we had in 2019, and also the one before. Actually, Jonathan's election was actually quite seamless. So I kind of expected, it's 2023, but can't go wrong. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Johnson.
Yeah, so I think I will probably start my thoughts by saying I believe it was sometime in the 20th century when Joseph Stalin, the long-term dictator of Russia, said that those who vote decide nothing.
Those who vote decide nothing.
Yeah, that those who count the votes decide everything. And that's really what is happening in Nigeria. Lots of people a lot of people had high hopes and high expectation about how this election would be conducted because of the deployment of the so-called beavers. And the thought there was that the beavers would minimize the occurrences of fraud, because the idea was that as soon as people casted their votes, and then the POs in each of those polling units, the presiding officers there in each of those polling units, when they summarize the votes and then take the total tally for each of the parties, that they would immediately be able to upload those results straight to the INEC portal. However,
electronically,
obviously. However, in a number of polling units, this was impossible. There have been certain allegations, a lot of allegations, that part of what caused that was that some individuals who were in liaison with the current ruling party were jamming the INEC servers. As a result of that, they prevented these results from being uploaded. There were other allegations as well that the number of these presiding officers, some of them were NYSC youth corpers, some of them were youth corpers, and that some of them were bribed. And as a result of that, they refused to upload the results. So it's just been an orgy of disappointment. It's just been from one disappointment to another disappointment, and it just leaves you feeling very sad. For example, when we look at what happened in Lagos, looking at a number of people were disenfranchised in Lagos. A lot of people. People went to polling units and they were literally told that if you are not going to vote for APC, just go home. Don't vote in this place. And this was being done openly. There were policemen. These videos were online. There were security personnel that were all around those places. And what did they do? Nothing. But funny enough, before this election, the Nigerian state deployed over 400,000 security personnel. And when you deploy 400,000 security personnel, over 400,000, and you have just about 176,000 polling units. Now, what that tells you is that the security personnel are even more than enough to secure each of these polling units, because you are looking at more than two security personnel to one polling unit. But still, these irregularities persisted. So I think there is that feeling of disenfranchisement, and initially let me get back to my train of thought. I was talking about Lagos, for example. Yes, Peter Obi won in Lagos. However, I do not believe that Bola Tinubu got as high as that. Peter Obi only won Bola Tinubu by 10,000.
10,000, yeah, I saw that.
I do not believe that. Because there were a number of polling units. Some of these results that we saw online, that people took pictures of their of the results that came out of their polling units, they were leading. Peter Obi, these people were literally taking the whole votes. They were taking the whole votes. You go to some polling units, Labour is scoring like 200 votes, APC is scoring like 10 or 5. And then after the whole thing is compiled, Labour Party only won by what? 10,000 votes. That's ridiculous. So I strongly believe that they played the fast one on us in Lagos State because they knew that, as I think the Nigerian state, as well as the ruling party, they know that if they are given Lagos State to APC, that the youth in Lagos State would create a very huge chaos. I know. So as a result of that, I feel that I have a strong belief that perhaps they just decided to give Lagos State to Labour Party. They decided to give Lagos State to Labour Party, while taking away a chunk of their votes, of the Labour Party vote. Yeah, that is my belief.
Yeah, and I can relate to that because INEC allegedly, this is all allegedly, INEC allegedly spent 355 billion naira. That's billion, B with a billion. I don't even know how to say billion anymore. So 305 billion naira, that's how much was spent, or that's how much is supposedly spent in this election. So if you look at the economy of Nigeria itself, and then you are comparing 355 billion naira. So if you divide that by 7, I don't know how many dollars that is, but
you can divide it by, let's use the official numbers, which is 440, naira to a dollar.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So you're looking at probably $100 billion or something. Is that right?
No.
Like $1 billion.
You're looking at about
$1 billion.
No, you're looking at about, this is
$800 million.
$800 million. That's what you're looking at.
So they spent $800 million or 305 billion naira. So if you kind of consider that, that's a lot. So what did they spend that money on, Seth?
That's my point.
Or
how do you say that you spent $800 million on an election and this is the outcome? Like, how do you say that? How do you say that you spent $800 million setting up a system, the so-called IREV system, that should have allowed those POs to be able to upload those results to the INEC server, and it just failed on the election day? How do you say that?
It's bad.
Definitely a lot of foul play.
It's pretty bad. So I saw one whereby in Lagos State, again, I've been online to Instagram, Twitter, and I just want to acknowledge the citizens of Nigeria actually for being social journalists and for taking out their phone. The internet made things a lot difficult for those that would be to rig the election. So there was one I saw where they were dumping the ballot inside the gutter.
The vast majority of them were Labour Party thumb printed, correct?
Yeah, I mean, like, then in Lagos, some Agbirus were saying that if you are coming to vote at the polling station, like, if you're not voting for APC, just don't vote, like, go back home.
I was saying that earlier.
This reminds me of back in the day where you have this, what do you call it? It's called poll tax.
Yeah, here in the US.
Here in the US, whereby if you go to the polls, they'll tax you. And what the US did actually was to have the National Guard present to secure the votes of blacks and minorities. So if you are voting in Lagos, in this particular video I'm talking about, the guy was being very clear. If you are voting, please don't even try, because it's open. So again, a lot of places, they had open ballots. There's no secrecy, which was a big issue. They even the people that are supposed to be secret, like Buhari himself, he raised the card of the
card.
He raised them.
He literally, oh my God.
So he violated a lot of the laws, regulations and everything. So like from the top to the bottom, everybody just doing whatever they want. Then there was a woman that was beaten mercilessly. I heard in somebody Lagos, was killed, like a copper. I mean, just so many things. I've never seen an election like this actually. Like, because I remember I was in Nigeria for the first election. That was in 99. When Obasanjo entered, and even then it wasn't like this. Like, this one was just
it wasn't.
It was really, really bad. Like, there was so many irregularities. Then other places, people were having underage people vote, both in the north and even in the east. So they're having underage people vote. There are videos online. There's all kind of like crazy stuff you can never imagine. INEC was late to the polls.
Yeah.
Then some people were actually taking over. Then some INEC people were complaining they were not paid enough. Like, so if you are spending 355 billion naira for a national election, and today is day 3 when we are recording, and they still have just about 11 states out or so. So it's kind of, it's a little bit disheartening, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, even looking at the INEC portal right now, the last
by
time
the way,
checked,
not everybody has access. If you try, it's supposed to be free. If you try to get in, it didn't let you because I tried.
Yeah. Just looking at the portal just before we hopped into this meeting, it was less than 70,000 polling units results have won. They had less than 70,000 polling unit results uploaded, and this is like what, the third day? This is like
out of how many though?
Out of 176,000.
So 70. So less than 50%.
Yeah, less than 50%. You know, so there's at least 100,000 polling units that have not uploaded their result. Now, let's even talk about what they have won some wins. I have to say they have won a lot. They have won some wins. Because, for example, in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, a long-term senator who has literally stayed in that chambers. He has done nothing for the residents of Abuja. He has just been he has just been flying on the coattails of PDP, because PDP has a strong support in the Federal Capital Territory. In 2015, even when they lost the election, they won Abuja. 2019, when they lost the election, they won Abuja. So he has just been riding on the coattails of PDP, and he has just been rolling up. He has just been, going to the Senate for the past 20 years or something. He was defeated by Kingibe, Ireti Kingibe.
Yeah,
Ireti Kingibe. Yeah. So, and she is a freshman senator.
What party is she though?
Of course, Labour Party.
Oh, Labour Party. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. And at least I have family members that voted in Abuja, and they just went. How they voted was just Labour Party, top to bottom. They didn't even go there. Like, nobody knows this lady in Abuja. Nobody knows her. Ireti Kingibe. Maybe she's known, but she's not known to the point.
She's not popular, like that. Yeah.
Not popular. She's not supposed to. She's not winning the election based on her popularity. She pretty much rode on the coattails of Peter Obi. So I think that's a win. That's a win. And there have been, some other Labour Party victories here and there. So I believe the Labour Party also unseated the incumbent APC senator from Nasarawa State. Was it the Labour Party? Yeah. So yeah, they have won some wins. They have won some wins, in spite of the many discouraging news that we've been hearing. But yes, they have won some wins.
Yeah, and I want to say that for Peter Obi, I mean, I pray he wins. I hope he wins. But even let's say in the
it doesn't look like he's going to win.
Yeah, but even if he doesn't win, though, the point I'm trying to say, like, he's made a lot of. He's done very well. Even if he doesn't, like, he's really done very well. Like, I mean, look at what he did in Lagos State. Even in all those northern states, he's actually going after the Tinubu and the.
Yeah. He won Nasarawa State.
Yeah, so he's done very well. I mean, even if he doesn't win this particular time, I think the election was clearly, there's a lot of rigging, there's a lot of violence, and INEC official was killed in Delta State. Like, just so many irregularities, and the police was not there to really defend and protect the ballots like we thought they would, from based on what we're seeing online.
A number of them were even conniving with.
Yeah, well, I heard that with the guys in Lagos, the police were like working with those area boys.
There you go.
So the police are supposed to be defending. whenever things happen, they're just like, okay. Then some of them were not even armed. like the police, they were not armed, so it's really queer, like what's going on. Because we look at other parts of the world, even Ghana, the way they do their election or the way they comport themselves, South Africa.
Yeah, it's far more they look like they have evolved beyond their primal urge to grab to power. By the way, I just sent you a screenshot of the most recent count for the polling units that have uploaded their results. So there is about 176,846 polling units, and about 79,477 have uploaded their results. This is just, it's ridiculous. How can you tell me that they have concluded elections since, but there were some people that voted on Sunday, right? There were some people that, for example, in Bayelsa, they extended it to Sunday, which was good. Yeah. So are you telling me that they concluded the election, the presidential election, since on Sunday? And today and Monday has gone. Today now, it's already Tuesday morning in Nigeria because, it's Tuesday morning. Right now, it's about 7:21 p.m. in Nigeria, a.m. rather, in Nigeria. And more than nearly 100, about 97,000 polling units have yet to upload their results. Come on.
Yeah, it's actually it's unacceptable. I believe that justice will prevail, and people need to just calm down, and let's just see how things pan out.
Yeah, we'll see. One thing I'm just going to point out is that I'm really happy about what's happened in Lagos State. I hope that this momentum brought the victory for Peter Obi in Lagos State can be carried into the state election, March 11th, right? When they go into the gubernatorial election, right? Because there are a number of people that need to lose their seats in that Lagos State. Sanwo-Olu needs to go.
Oh, I heard Banky W lost his seat.
Yeah, he lost. He lost
to a Labour Party guy.
Yeah, he didn't really lose the seat because he didn't have the seat. The thing is that he contested under the PDP PDP umbrella for a federal constituency seat, and the incumbent, which was an APC man, lost to the Labour Party candidate.
Oh, okay.
Now, funny enough, Banky W they begged him, join Labour Party. He said no. The Labour Party guy, the Labour Party guy left both of them in the dust. He left both of. He was just dominant. Yeah, but it's my hope is that Labour Party takes over. If Labour Party can take over Lagos State, I hope they take over Lagos State. I hope they work, they galvanize each other, and then ride on this wave to March 11th, so that they can knock out, they can forever bury, the so-called Lion of Bodilion.
Yeah. And that's, we thought everything with the person of Tinubu has been able to establish and do allegedly in the state of Lagos. It's nice to have somebody else just go in and just change things. The other thing I want to make is that change takes time. The other comment I want to make is that change takes time, and change comes in waves. So a lot of those guys in APC, PDP, some of them don't really want to be in APC or PDP. They just need a platform, because APC and PDP are the big ones. So I think Peter Obi is in a way a revolutionary, because if he's able to show that this is possible, a lot of those guys will end up switching over. You're going to see them come over to Labour Party. People that are already in PDP, but they don't really, like light and darkness kind of. Where there's light, people want to gravitate to light. And some people really mean well. They just don't have a platform. So really, I think it's a good thing regardless, even though the outcome is not what people expect, but it's still profound what he's done.
And let's just do a little bit of a thought experiment here, let's say we're living in an alternate reality where Atiku Abubakar remained in Dubai and did not come back to Nigeria to come and discuss. Let us say that
I heard he was in Dubai, like he was in exile or something.
He's been in Dubai for a long time. Dubai is his residence.
Wow.
In 2019, when he came back, after when he came back to run, he was between 2015 and 2000. He was in Dubai. After he lost, he went back to Dubai.
So he comes to Nigeria to run, then goes to Dubai. To run,
then he goes back. After he loses this election, which he clearly is going to lose, right?
Lose to Tinubu, perhaps.
I don't know. Lose to Tinubu. I mean, that's what it
lose to Peter Obi. Like. Yeah.
Well, Peter Obi by faith, Tinubu by reality, I guess.
Yeah.
He's going to go back to Dubai. So yeah, it's.
Yeah. So he's living in Dubai. I was talking about
Let me finish my thought experiment here. Yeah. So let's say he remained in Dubai, right? And let's say Peter Obi and Kwankwaso would come to work together, and both of them emerged as the leading candidates in PDP. Maybe Peter Obi is the president, and Kwankwaso is the vice.
Why PDP? Why not Labour Party?
Why I say PDP? Why I say PDP is because the three of them were made in PDP.
That's
Peter
right.
Obi was made. Well, Peter Obi was made in APGA, obviously, but then in those days, APGA kind of always worked with PDP. Peter Obi came to national prominence through PDP, right? Kwankwaso came to national prominence through PDP. Same with Atiku. So the three of them, they came through PDP. My thought is that, say for example, Kwankwaso, Atiku did not show up, but Kwankwaso and Peter Obi ran on the platform of PDP. I'm telling you that by now, this election would have been a foregone conclusion. PDP both of them would have won. We wouldn't be, because Kwankwaso has mainstream acceptance in the north. A very strong. Now Peter Obi has a very strong mainstream. Peter Obi is the only person that can go to Lagos and take Lagos and take Lagos out of Tinubu's hand. He's the only person. So he has this large acceptance. So in a way, Atiku was the poison chalice. In a way, Atiku's coming to this, because the funny thing there is that they had all agreed power is going to be rotated to the south. Then why would you just come back, knowing that this is the standing agreement?
Well, it's a handshake, informal agreement. I don't think it's the constitution. It's not the constitution.
Well, no, it's not the constitution, but it's not the constitution. But the point there is that this is the agreement. And why I say this is the agreement is because in 2015, what made Atiku to leave PDP to go to APC when the newly formed APC was because he told Jonathan that Jonathan must not run because this is a turn of the North.
Jonathan stayed. Well, Jonathan did it. Jonathan ran again, though. Jonathan kind of didn't care, from what I recall.
Jonathan ran obviously he didn't.
Buhari and lost.
He didn't care, but and he lost. He was. They took him to the cleaners, right?
They did. He did.
Yeah. So he lost. But one other good thing I also like about this so-called Beavers is that I think the Beavers has exposed a lot of corruption. And this is what I mean. In the past 3 or 4 election cycles, the numbers that used to come from Nasarawa, I say Nasarawa, Katsina rather. The numbers that used to come from Katsina, Manu, Kaduna, these states, when they announced, at least right now, they've announced only Katsina to the best of my knowledge.
No, right now. So let me tell you what they've announced. They've announced
Kano yet?
They've not announced Kano, but they've announced Kano actually. Yes. I take that back. Again, they've announced Kano. Kano is Kwankwaso, and that's the only thing he has. So Katsina is for actually Atiku won Katsina. Atiku won Katsina. Atiku won Bauchi. Atiku won Gombe. Atiku won Adamawa. Atiku won Akwa Ibom. Atiku won Osun State, which is weird. Atiku's wife is from Osun State. I don't even know that. Yeah. So she just went there and campaigned for him. And if you look at the map, you will see all around Tinubu won everything except for Lagos. Then in the middle, Atiku just took. It's like this hawk. He just flew
I
in there
heard
and he
that.
just grabbed Osun State and then he flew back out. So, I mean, from what I'm seeing, I think what might probably happen, even what's his name? Buhari lost the state. Buhari lost Katsina. That's not even.
Yeah, to Atiku now.
Yeah, he lost it to Atiku. So Atiku is actually doing very well. The only state that Tinubu won in the northeast so far is Jigawa.
Jigawa, yeah.
That's the only state he won. So the rest are yet to come in. But from the look of things, you have Peter Obi. He's taking Plateau. That's just, that makes sense. He's taking Nasarawa. Okay, I can relate to that. He's taking Enugu, and he only has 4 states as of the time of this recording. But in total, Tinubu has 5.4 million votes. Atiku has about 4 million votes, and Obi has half of that, about 2.295 million votes, while Kwankwaso has a little bit, 1.3. So I think if we're to play some mental gymnastics here, if we were to do that, what I will suggest, if I were to do mental gymnastics, is to say that if Peter Obi can go with Kwankwaso, if they can get together, I don't know if that's possible.
It's not possible. It's against the law.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, how is that against the law? I don't know. How is that against the law?
Yeah, it's against the. It's not. If you are going to step down, you have to step down. If you are going to collapse your party structure, you have to collapse your party structure before the election. You have to.
So after the election, you can't just combine votes and say, I give all my votes to. I thought they used to do that before, but maybe I'm ignorant.
This is what we have we don't have a parliamentary system. In a parliamentary system, you can do that.
Okay.
Nigeria, we don't have that.
Okay, so you couldn't do that. Okay. So what's going to happen ultimately is that, your vote is your vote, really. That way it's fair to the winners too, I guess. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
One person we've not covered in this conversation has been
So even the little people can't do that before the election. They can only do it before the election. The smaller parties.
You can only do that before the election. I was saying something. The one person we've not covered is the so-called man from Rivers State, Wike. Yes, sir, Wike. Before this election, he has been crying foul. Oh, this, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. Mm-hmm. He's been talking about that he feels that the South has been cheated, this and that he doesn't like the fact that Ayu was made the national chairman of PDP and Atiku, who is also from the North, is running. So he feels that the South is not represented in the room. Now, only for this man to turn around, and he's literally rigging the election in Rivers State in favor of APC. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Then even Okowagon, I heard that the Delta State governor, that there are more votes than the people that registered. So INEC cancelled that bit of it. But go ahead, what do you say about Wike?
Yeah, and there was a phone call recording that was leaked online.
I heard about that. Yeah,
threatening. Not that I listened to it. Of Wike threatening, some polling officers that, because it looked from the recording, it seems like they bribes them. Obviously with some dollars, not naira, or naira.
Wow.
So it looks like they bribed them, and then he feels like they are not delivering on the promise that they promised them. So Wike threatened them in that recording that if they did not deliver, that they were not going to leave Rivers State alive. What kind of
Wow.
This is our democracy. Can you imagine that? This is our democracy in Nigeria. So it's obviously as
but Wike isn't Wike the governor over there in Rivers? This is a good governor, right?
Yeah, he's the governor of
Rivers. Governor of Rivers. So imagine a whole governor saying something like that on record and nothing happens,
Well,
yeah,
so
it gets.
Are you surprised? Have you forgotten in 2015 when the Oba of Lagos told Igbo people that if they did not
about
vote
the rivers
for Buhari, that he was going to sink them into the river? He was going to sink them into the lagoon.
Yeah,
Lagos Lagoon.
Yeah, but some things people say, they just comment. All these comments, people just.
Well, those are inflammatory comments.
They are, yeah. You can't do that. Somebody will power and somebody with authority. Somebody of authority shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Yeah, then Dino was making some noise there at the where people were at the National Collation Center. He came and was just shouting and making noise and saying, and I think he had some point. For the first time, I agree with him.
He had a lot of,
because the beavers, I think the point of the bimodal voting system is just so that they can transfer the votes electronically.
The vote, yes.
And you don't have to be doing manual tabulation because there they can be rigging, you know? So that's just, oh boy,
and that was his argument. His argument was that how can we be announcing results? How are you announcing results?
How can we be calling the results when the beavers is supposed to do that?
When the beavers is supposed to do that?
Yeah.
When we are supposed to see the results straight when it's supposed to appear there in the system.
Yeah. Because from the polling units where people are to the people going home today, come back tomorrow, go back home the next day. That's why in the US, when you are in the polling stations, you don't leave the polling stations. Like everything you drop there, you don't take anything home. But there's no supervision. Nobody knows what you're doing. Like it's bizarre. And it's something that the world is watching. You know, the whole world is watching. There are a lot of international observers there. I know what's her name? Okonjo-Iweala. I know she came home and she was actually giving a speech that, wow, this is crazy. So people just need to kind of calm down, let the process take its toll and let the elections be counted, let the votes be counted before anybody does anything. Because right now, nobody knows what's going on. That's the time of this recording. People are trying to see what's happening. But so far, there's just been a lot of foul play in many, many instances. And I don't know. I think that a lot of after action review has to be done by INEC. They have to sit back. To be a lot of postmortem. They have to do a postmortem. Like, where did they mess up? What did they do wrong? Yeah. And how can they be better for 305 billion naira spent? Yeah. Yeah,
clearly, one of the things they did wrong was a lot of INEC officials arrived very late to their polling units. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Logistical issues. Secondly, the security issue was a big problem. Thirdly, their network failed. Their network failed. So, these are the things. And I think we should look at our electoral laws so that in polling units where people were disenfranchised, either by violence or by just,
thuggery,
either by violence, which can be in form of thuggery, or just, a situation where the election did not even take place. There should be an electoral law that would prevent the state from announcing the winner.
Results.
From announcing a winner until every legal vote is casted and counted. Also, we also need to look into this issue of underage voting. We need to look into that. That's a problem.
So how does Kano get 2 million votes compared to Lagos having? Lagos has like 1.2 million, and Kano has like 2.2. Because Kano has 1 million over. Go ahead.
Yes, 2 million because there are small voters turnout. More people there go to vote. It's that simple. They are more political. They are more politically aware.
Active. Yeah.
In Lagos State, do you know how many people who collect? Over 6 million PVCs were collected. Only 1 million.
Lagos State.
In Lagos, only 1 million people came out to vote.
Yeah, the votes reported by INEC is 1.1 million. If you add Labour Party 582, APC, Tinubu 572. So right there you have like 1 point plus another 75k, 8k. So
but then about 1.1 million. Another thing we can also say is that a lot of people were disenfranchised. Let's not forget in Lagos.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
A lot of people were disenfranchised.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what I said earlier. That with Peter will be like, if you have Kano is getting about 2.2 million voters reported by INEC, and they are giving it to NNPP. And then Lagos is having 1.1. So Kano is having approximately 1 million more voters that voted, that their vote counted. So in Lagos, 1 million less people. Like, it just does not make sense at all. No, it makes zero sense that Lagos
It
has
doesn't.
1.1 million, Kano has 2.1. Again, these are results that have been released as of
Yes.
the
It
28th
doesn't.
of 28th of February here. So 3 days after the election. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense at all.
And besides, yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It
make
doesn't.
sense.
I mean, that 1 million, let's say Peter Obi had that 1 million extra, or let's say Peter Obi had gotten Kano, for example. I mean, he'll be giving these guys a run for their money now. The other states he got, like Enugu has about less than 500,000 people now. Nasarawa has like 250, 300,000 people. Maybe 400,000 that have 500,000. Plateau has maybe about 700, 900,000 or so. Total. So overall, after Kano, Lagos is kind of the biggest one. Kano is about 2.1, 2.2 million, Lagos is 1 million. So again, this thing is all about strategy. I keep talking about the US. In the US, the strategy they will use and say, okay, based on this strategy, you need California because California is big. You need Florida. You need this. So you might not even campaign in all these other places, but campaign in a big one. Because when you get them, it gets you closer to the majority votes. Go ahead.
Yeah, but one thing I would also point out is that before now, that kind of state that you see that this guy got, that's why we are seeing maybe 2.2 million.
Yeah.
In before now, like in 2015, 2019, that we used to see like 3-4 million votes coming out of Kano. So these beavers actually reduced.
Right.
Same with Katsina. Katsina did not even get up to 1 million total. Maybe 1.2, maybe 1.1, 1.2. During the last about
1.1, 1.2. You're right. Yeah.
In 2015, there was almost 2-point-something million votes out of Katsina. So these beavers now exposed a lot. It exposed a lot of things. It exposed that many of those numbers that were being cooked. It exposed that it has simply exposed that 2015 election was rigged. 2019 election too was rigged.
Yeah. Back to your first comment about what you were saying earlier about the states not being allowed to certify the results if there was some election violence. I can relate to that because somewhere like California, in the US, California is very important for Democrats, not just because of the it's just one state, but also the number of people living in, the number of college votes there. So point I'm trying to make is that somewhere like Lagos is very, very important. If Peter Obi won Lagos, he should not win by 10,000 because he could have won by 200,000, which would have helped him in that total majority vote. So it's a huge disenfranchisement, or it's a huge disservice. He won Lagos by 10,000, but there's like so many poll stations that Agbero boys took over. They scattered a lot of ballots. They threw things in the gutter. I watched a lot of videos where they were saying, if you are APC, if you are not voting for APC, don't vote here. Just go back home. And the police was there doing nothing. So all those little things add up, because at the end of the day, they want to say who has the majority vote, how many million people voted. So those little things, I mean, it just add up, and I understand the point of the opinion, the point of the obedience. Like, it's unacceptable, it's unfair, it's unjust, and justice should prevail. So justice should prevail, and hopefully INEC can allow those people to vote again where there were irregularities. Hopefully they can allow them to vote. I was listening to the Lagos State Labour Party guy, Rhodes, I think is his name. I don't remember his full name. But the guy was actually complaining. He had a list of so many places where there were irregularities. It was on TV and was talking about that. Like, so many irregularities, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. So someone like that, is important that, his voice be heard and that he has a fair election, because Labour Party has a shot of taking Lagos. They really do.
Yeah.
And Sean should be afraid of his seat. He really should be afraid.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I was Sean, I'm going to be very, very afraid.
Yeah. And it's bad because you go to Lagos, all the highway, the expressway is Sean banner you see everywhere. You don't even see PDP. You don't they monopolize all the signage, all the signboard, everywhere. Like, if you try to put your sign, they will say we are not accepting signs, but they'll push on all the signs there. So at the end of the day, they still can't win for Tinubu. It's just the way God works, I guess.
Yeah. Things are going to change. I strongly believe that, I'm just hoping that this momentum will carry us to the gubernatorial election. I'm hoping. Because Lagos, the APC structure not even APC structure, Tinubu structure needs to be collapsed in Lagos. Lagos is the commercial center of Nigeria. That state is nobody should own that Lagos. Lagos should be a toss-up. It should be a toss-up.
It should be a toss-up, yeah, because Lagos is the melting pot of Nigeria.
Lagos has been severely limited by being ruled by only one party for such a long time. I was there last December, right?
Yep.
A couple of days.
Said that, yeah.
You know,
the traffic, the congestion.
The traffic there, the congestion, the pollution. You know, the roads, some of the roads there. I mean, how can you have a state that has 20 million people and you hardly find a road, a three-lane road? Most of the roads are 2 lanes. You hardly find a 3-lane road. You know, look at the train station, the train that they've been building there for how many years? I think they just recently commissioned a few kilometers of rail. So Lagos is an example of Lagos is a clear indication of Tinubu's failure, and they tax people like crazy. The tax regime in Lagos State is insane. They are bringing in over 50 billion naira monthly.
Yep.
50 billion naira monthly. That's the IGR in Lagos State. Where is it going to? If you bring in 600 billion naira every year as the IGR in a state, the state should not be at 600 billion naira. The state should not be like Lagos. It should be better.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we're going to bring this to a close. Overall, what are your final thoughts, I guess, in terms of the outlook, looking past this election? I remember when Hillary Clinton lost to Trump in 2016, there were people crying. There was supposed to be this glass ceiling that would shatter, and the country can feel the soul of the country sink. And that's why Joe Biden ran. Joe Biden ran because he said he wants to get the soul of America back. But the point I'm trying to make is that the next day Obama came, and there was a comment he said, actually that night he said, the sun shall rise again tomorrow, because people were disappointed. A lot of people were crying, oh my God, this guy, blah, 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 blah. And Obama said the sun will rise again tomorrow, that this is not the end. And, just 4 years later, you have Joe Biden, who came back. So I guess what's the sun shall rise again moment, I guess, for Nigeria, as you see how there's so much injustice and a lot of political, a lot of rigging, a lot of election malpractice. What's your hope, I guess, as we kind of wrap up?
Message of hope.
Yeah, past the election. So 2 weeks from now, when everything goes back and the dust settles, what should Nigerians be looking out for?
Well, the youths of Nigeria have actually proven to the world that they can actually effect a change, not by violence, but by the ballot. At least with what we see, with what we saw in Lagos State, with all the malpractice and everything. So looking to the future, I think, no matter what the outcome of the election is, we should not lose hope. Peter Obi has started something that is even going to might grow bigger than him. Whatever happens, tribunal or no tribunal, whoever it is that wins this election is going to understand that they have to perform. Otherwise, they are going to face a very stiff fight to retain office. So either ways, I'm just going to encourage Nigerian youths. Let's not lose hope. Let's continue to organize ourselves. Let's believe. Let's not look away from Nigeria. A number of people talk about breaking up Nigeria, all those things. No, that's not the message. Nigeria is our country. We should not give in to the tribalistic urges of going back to go and begin to talk about breaking up. No, let's not do that. Let's fight for one Nigeria, and let's fight to bring the change that we want to see in Nigeria. Because as a country, we are stronger as Nigeria than we would ever be as regional governments or as regional countries. So let's not be discouraged by however the outcome of this election is. Let's continue to organize, and eventually we know delay still does not mean denial.
Right. Delay is not denial. Wow.
It's not denial. That, yeah. Eventually, we are going to, in our lifetime, we are going to see a Nigeria that we are going to hand over a Nigeria that will be proud of to our children.
Yep. Amen to that. Thank you so much, Brother Johnson. I really appreciate that. And I agree with everything you said. It's looking like from just the numbers coming in through INEC, maybe Tinubu will be the next president. But like I was saying earlier, that the sun will rise tomorrow and things will get better. I don't understand how a man that can't win Lagos State, that cannot win his own Osun State, is becoming president of Nigeria. But God knows best, and there are a lot of things we don't know. We are just out there. Those of us in diaspora, particularly, even those in Nigeria, there are some things that people just don't know because they're not in power. So it's hard to say. But we just have to trust God and hope for the best. And like you said, Brother Johnson, delay is not denial. So yeah, let's just keep praying. I think this is a major victory for Peter Obi and the Labour Party. I think this is a movement, and Nigerian youth too. I think it's a movement that has started. It's a trend that cannot be stopped. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. Like I mentioned earlier, other people start switching, and they'll start giving momentum. So let's just kind of hang in there, be persistent, stay safe, don't do anything, don't harm anyone, don't get into trouble or anything. Just let's kind of be safe. And yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. Again, send us an email at talk@badabox.com if you have any questions. Thank you for just hanging in there. For those of you that voted, thank you for voting. For those of you that could not vote, may the will of the people be done. And for the obedience people, don't be disappointed. Delay is not denial. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. You can listen to this episode at the Badabox Podcast YouTube channel. So it's just search for Badabox Podcast. We have this episode and we have other episodes there as well. We're also available on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media handle, Badabox Podcast. Then if you listen to podcasts wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, even Apple Podcasts, we're there. So please stay tuned for future episodes, and hopefully after the election, everything goes back to normal and Nigeria gets better. We have to give whoever the president is, we have to give him a chance to rule. So we just have to. And let's hope for the best. Everybody who's running, I'm sure they want the best for Nigeria, whatever their capacity is. We'll just have to keep praying. With that, thank you, and long live Nigeria. All right, bye guys.
Bata bata, bata bata, bata box.